Good evening, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've been on, just for students and educators and teachers who come on almost every day, just to let you know that from this week, we're going to be on only on Wednesday and Friday. Today, as you can see, I have a very, very special guest with me, Mr. Sunil Srivastav. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of introduction before I hand it over to Mr. Sunil. Mr. Sunil, you can hear me, right?
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. I'm just going to do a little bit of introduction to Mr. Sunil before I hand it over to him and ask him a couple of questions. So basically, Mr. Sunil has been the principal of Kids Kingdom Public School for the past 14 years. And he's played a very, very integral role, for those of you who don't know him, in bringing the school to where it is right now in terms of its affiliations, its infrastructure, professional development for teachers, and many other such things that he has played such a vital role in. He's also had, for students, this is especially for you grade 12 students, he's had more than 15 years of experience in guiding and coaching students for competitive exams. So if you have any questions regarding that, now is your opportunity to ask him. Now, here are some interesting facts that I thought were something that I should share with everybody. First of all, he's authored a couple of books and has a flair for writing articles on education in the local newspapers. So you might want to look out and see what he's written. He's an amateur poet. Mr. Sunil, if you have some of your poems with you, maybe you should share it with us today. And he's also the founder secretary of the Swami Vivekananda Mission, which is a non-profit organization. And true to being a life learner, like any great principal of any school, I think, he's attended and he's spoken and presented at many workshops and conferences around the world, like in UK and in Finland and Japan. Mr. Sunil, we are so happy that you're with us today. Welcome, and I'm sure this is going to be such a great session, and it's such an honor to have you as part of our webinar today. So just to start off, we're trying to be a support to parents and educators and students during this time, this pandemic we're going through. So my first question to you is, how do you think students can make use of their time while at home? We know they have online classes, but how else do you think that they can make use of their time at home? Can you hear me, Mr. Sunil? Hello?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate the team Univariety and for you taking out time and giving this opportunity. Back to this. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
So I was saying that first of all, I'm thankful to you and Team Univariety for organizing this event and inviting me. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. So first of all, people talk of they're into panic. It is an opportunity for every one of us, including the students as well, to utilize this time, because we are free. Actually, we are not having the routine which we normally have in our regular, life, daily schedule. That is not there. First of all, so this is the time where we can introspect ourselves, and we can look into what strengths we have got and what are the weaknesses where we can work upon. So that is the one thing through introspection, and then as an individual as well as a professional, future professional. So whatever he wants to become, but certainly one should have certain skills, both in person as well as from the point of view of the professional careers. So that is one thing which I really feel that they have. And once what are the weaknesses they have, so they can sort it out. They can work on improving this is also the time where they can contact like the career counselors. They can go for some aptitude testing, maybe inclination test. Normally what happens that as a student, we end up taking the decisions emotionally, like we go by the group. Group decides that I want to do a medical, or I want to go into humanities, or whatever it is. So normally, instead of getting carried away by that particular aspect, this is the time where we can talk to the career counselors, and then we can undergo some tests like aptitude testing, which I really feel is very important at this point of time, and also some inclination tests, like which we have inclination for certain examinations, but we are not actually able for that. I normally give the examples. Say now, if I want to become a wrestler, I can't, because I am not capable of doing that. Though I am having a strong desire, but I actually can't. So that's the thing. A second important thing, this is the time where you read a wide range of books, and also read some good newspapers, and then also start exploring various areas which you as a person they appeal So that is again a very, very important thing, which normally as a student one can do. And then more important that whatever the courses he has, and he can just try it out, like 8 days he can do certain things, 8 days, for another 8 days he can try out some certain other things, like so gradually at a certain point of time one particular thing clicks to him, and then that could be his trigger point, and then they can decide upon his career. So I think that is this is the way they can use this time.
Yes, I think not only for students, but even teachers and educators, it's a great time to kind of upskill themselves. I know some of you are asking questions, Vesha and Aryan. We will be taking questions as soon as, we get through a couple of questions. So just listen to what we have to say, and then we'll be happy to take your questions. So just on those lines, Mr. Sunal, can you share a few engaging resources that maybe students can use in order to master, particular skill set that they find interest in?
I think actually now this is not the time to master a particular skill set, but basically one has to, explore, trying some or the other basic things. But what happens when a student is, thinking of entering into a professional lives? So basically, he should have 6 basic skills, which is at this point of time a schoolgoer should. Rather, he should be proficient in those particular things. One is he should know art of talking to the people, yes. Not only with his friends, with his daily, but people from diverse culture. Because after 5 years, one doesn't know that today's student of XYZ school may be landing into an African country and working with the people over there, or maybe with America. So that is the thing. So he should be able to communicate effectively with the people of diverse culture. He should understand the culture, and that is the beauty of this planet. So that I think he should do. That is one thing. Secondly, what I find is the issue of adaptability. One should be very quick to adapt to the changes. Like,
absolutely.
For example, if you take off this current pandemic, it has taken almost 2 months for all of us to accept, the happenings around the world. Like, so we should be adaptive, because the society is changing society always change, but the pace of change is very, very fast. So we should be quick enough to adapt to those kind of changes, so that we can survive. So that is the second important thing which I feel. The third is that he should be very creative and imaginative, because a person who is creative is going to rule this planet in all his professional life. If he's not creative, if he's not innovative enough, and if he doesn't have a different out of box thinking, yes. So then he'll end up doing a routine job. Like, so that is the important thing he should definitely have.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, those are, and I know you've mentioned it also, but these are all 21st century skills that I have been talking to students about also.
And then and the most important thing is that he should be able to critically think,
Absolutely.
Now there are number of skills which are expected, but these are the basic 4 or 5 skills. I think once a child understand those skills,
And it'll take them a long way, not just to do well in school, but, undergraduation.
And he works on those things actually.
Yeah.
So I think he will grow up as an individual, and he can contribute a lot to the society.
So do you have any recommendations for books that they could be reading right now?
Basically, there are a wide range of books available, but one should start reading the autobiographies and the biographies of the great people. Like, it can be Mahatma Gandhi, it can be APJ Abdul Kalam, it can be Steve Jobs, or even one book I would recommend, which is very, very important. It is Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of the Highly Effective People.
Oh, yeah, I have read that.
So, yeah. That book is really, really very important. And they have one more version for the younger ones also.
Right.
I don't remember the book. It is, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Great.
So that book is really, really helpful. And apart from that, one should read like APJ Abdul Kalam. It's very inspiring.
Yes.
Inspiring for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So a few questions are already coming about.
And also Swami Vivekananda. These are the books which are ultimate, and they're
No, so I hope some of you who are asking what are the books to read, I hope you got it. We can also, what we can do, Modi, and some of you who are asking, we can get a list of books from Mr. Sunil and we can share it with you. Don't worry. There are some questions coming in, sir, with regards to how to prepare for entrance exams, and especially now since the dates come out. How do you think people can prepare? Grade 12 students can better prepare themselves for their final exams that are remaining and also upcoming exams, entrance exams.
Actually, if you see, I take life into 3 different examinations. One is a board examination, which everyone has to undergo. The other is an entrance examination. And the third related with the life exams. If you want to do certain things in life, and therefore you have to, step 1 is writing the board examination, and then step 2 is So talking about entrance examination, normally what happens, people get confused. I was into this competitive examination training for more than 15 years. So basically what happens is that you have to be thorough with your basics. Like, you should read the textbooks thoroughly and start making connections with the life.
Absolutely. Yes.
If you fail to make the connections with, or find out the relevance in the society or in the ecosystem, and the important thing is that the difference between the student who is successful and the student who is not successful at that particular point of time, the difference is hardly of few marks, like maybe point marks also. What is the device? The difference? That difference is not because the person who is not successful at that point of time, because he has not scored well. It is because of his temperament while writing the exam.
Yes.
Examination. What kind of mindset you have, the difference. So as far as preparing the examination is concerned, I think they should thoroughly go through the CBSE or the prescribed books, which are recommended for the syllabus. That is one thing. Then they should think of they should think out of the box again. I told you that they should be able to see the application aspects of the topic or of the subtopic or of the concept, or maybe a theorem, or maybe a principle, or maybe a term. So until they are successful in making the connections, then they can't be able to write the
exam well. Correct. So making
examination properly. When the exams are nearing, and the best part is that practicing writing maximum, solving maximum mock tests and doing the mock tests, writing the
correct. Do you, Mr.
papers, and finding out where are the gaps and working on those gaps.
Correct, absolutely. There was a question with, do you know what books you can recommend for biology if someone's prepping for biology?
if you ask me, I would prefer recommending CBSE books. That is the important thing which one should do, and then rest of the things depend upon the practices. There is no point in if I recommend books of higher level. I really don't think that really is useful. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Archie wanted to know, do you, please can you suggest some apps for general knowledge? Like how best do you think someone can gain or get practice or get more awareness of general knowledge? Any suggestions?
Yeah. Normally when someone asks me what is general knowledge, I write and I say in very, very simple terms, it is like a masala khichdi, because whatever you have been learning throughout your school life, that is put it in one platter, and that is general knowledge. Understood?
Yeah.
Because if a student is appearing for civil services examination, I mean, for the last 30 years or 40 years or so, if you see, every successful candidate recommends NCERT books.
Right.
So normally what happens till 10th standard, children tend to, they don't read the books, or rather they don't remember. Right. So the best part is reading those books, number one thing. Secondly, if you want a specific book to understand the other things, one is Government of India publishes a yearbook. It is called as India 2020.
Okay.
It is published by Publication Division.
Okay.
So that is a really, really wonderful book. One should read.
Okay, that's
okay. And the second important thing, there are certain magazines which are very important. One should go for, like CS Chronicle is there. Then Competition Success Review is there. And over and above, I believe reading a newspaper is very, very important. I don't know today's generation how many of them really read newspaper. Whether you read on the tab or on the computer or the practical you take.
Absolutely, yeah.
Newspaper in your hand. So I start my day and end. So 3 to 4 newspapers at least one should definitely read.
That's good. Yeah. I think even I should put that to practice.
Yeah. Why reading newspapers is very important. One, you get the information of all the current happenings across the world. Secondly, the articles help you in analyzing how you can write, how you can give the presentations in a crisp manner, like short analysis or maybe stories, how to cover a story, how to cover a interview, how to cover all those aspects are covered.
Correct. Absolutely.
And more important thing is the good newspapers have a very fantastic language, and the language use of words, vocabulary. So that really, really matters. So you are in a sense your writing skills and your communication skills improved because of by reading the newspaper. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just wanted to. So, do you have any suggestions? I know that there is Arush who's asking. Can you recommend any fictional books?
Fictional books, so there are more. If you ask me, I should say that you can start with Chacha Chaudhary.
Okay.
And Harry Potter is all-time famous. So all those books are there. But one book which I really it could be a science fiction of Hawkins, some time machine. I don't remember the title of the book. But definitely I will share the list with you.
Yeah, if you can, that would
soon I will share the list with the books, like fiction books.
That would be great. Do you have any recommendations for parents and how they can support their children during this time? Yeah, if you can.
Surely. Yeah, this is most critical question if the parents and children are listening. So maybe after this session, they may have a little fight, among them. But anyway, parents normally, what I have experienced, impose their aspirations upon the children.
Right.
And that is the bone of contention between parents and the children. So my sincere appeal to the parents that today there are hundreds and thousands of courses available, and every course is equally. I think it should be completely, as a parent, our responsibility is to use, and with that, let them lead their life. You can't be after them every time.
Correct.
They should be able to take decisions on their own.
Absolutely.
Because if you're every time, most of the time I see that the children are not able to take a decision. Only it is the human being where the parent, if it is at least 40% of his life is guided by the parent. And if you see any other creature on this earth, so not a single creature, if you talk about the turtle, it lays eggs and it moves on. So there is no looking back. So a lot of hand-holding is there. Yeah. So to some extent it's really good. But to a larger extent, if you see that children should be given a freedom to take certain decisions. And as a parent, we should be always with them to guide and support, even in their failures also.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Rahul's asked a few times, sir. So I'm just going to start taking questions because so many are coming and I know that they're asking it multiple times. Yeah. How can we make studying fun or more interesting for teenagers?
Absolutely. First of all, if you're not interested in studies, so it will be never fun. I'll quote my example. Till 10th standard, I was not a very good student, and my mom used to always tell me कि पढ़ाई करो, and I was never inclined to study. But after 10, certain things changed, my life, and that was a turning point. And after that, I started reading, studying, and then I was successful in, whatever I used to do, I was successful in that. So the basic thing is that you have to find out interest on your own.
Absolutely.
And there is a trigger point at this, so that interest will come maybe after at the age of 25 you also.
Yeah.
So that's there.
But that's the key, just to be interested first,
And secondly, yes, because and second, what I would like to share with you is that at this point of time, world standard, study is like taking the pills, whether you want or you don't want.
Yeah.
You have to, because it is for your betterment. It is for your betterment.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Right. Soham, thank you. Mr. Sunal, Soham shared the name of the book. It's George's Secret Key to the Universe by Stephen Hawking. Is that what you're talking about?
No, one more book. I don't remember the name of the book.
Okay.
But I will get back to you with the book. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll read a couple of more books, I guess.
Anyway, Mr. Sunal will be sharing a list of, fictional books that you all can read. So maybe that is something. Yeah.
Thank you, Rahul.
Yeah. Somebody, I'm just going to look through some of these questions.
Sorry.
So Aryan is asking how to manage time properly during this pandemic for preparing for class 12 boards.
Yeah, first of all, hardly, I think if you talk about the boards, hardly 1 month is left now. From 1st June to 15th June, they are starting the examination. Not even 1 month. So maybe barely 15 to 20 days. First thing is that one should not be stressed with the studies. I think he has covered most of the time, because assuming the exams in the March, I think he has covered most of the syllabus. So he has to find out which topics or which subtopics he's finding difficult, and he should find out those gaps and try to fill up those gaps. One thing, and secondly, he can definitely write 1 or 2 papers, like practice papers. That is what he can do at this point of time. And in addition to that, he should be always he should spend a few minutes on a daily routine exercise, so he's not stressed out, and that is that I would recommend. And then depending upon the subject, like which subject he finds is more important for him, where he's finding difficult, so he can dedicate more time for that, because it cannot be a fixed timetable. Like what suits me may not be suiting him, may not suit him also. So it's everyone's personal choice and personal preferences. So he should decide what is best, what is important for him, what is difficult for me, and should give more time to that.
Absolutely.
One thing, normally students when they are not able to understand certain topics, so they are reluctant to use or study that particular topic.
Right.
So they should change that policy. They should create interest in that particular topic and read more and more other references, and by that they can understand the topic and they can talk to the teachers as well. They can be of immense help to them. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Gracie wants to know, sir, how to select one's profession.
One's profession. Look, what suits you. I told you that you do some, you can go for some internship programs. Right now there are some internship programs. You can do some internship programs. That is how then they can select what appeals you. Maybe in the environment they must be seeing an IAS officer, a police officer, maybe a doctor, maybe an engineer, maybe a teacher. But sadly no one now wants to become a teacher. Like very few children are there, they want to become teacher, but they can see what motivates them. So they can try them out. That is a very general test they can do, and then they can go for some aptitude tests like an inclination test, and there you get, that is again not a very 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 scientific, but it gives us a fair idea, maybe 2 or 3 choices, and out of that they can select one choice and then they can work upon it.
Absolutely.
And ultimately your interest,
Yeah, absolutely. It all boils down to that interest. Sririti wanted to know, would you recommend taking science stream courses in India or abroad?
After 12th standard, learning abroad is always, I recommend strongly, because whatever subject you choose, because the approach there is more practical and more application oriented. And secondly, we become more independent going over there. So these are the few things. And for those particular aspects, and one should definitely prefer going there. But 12th standard, after 12th standard, I think there are the education is very costly over there. Right. So that particular aspect, definitely she has to take a call on that also. Yeah,
absolutely. Aishwarya wants to know, how is individuality and self-esteem important in Indian culture? Good question.
Very good question. Look, gradually now the parents are, you are lucky. I mean, these children are lucky. Now the parents are, they are the second generation of educated and, sane people. So there would be some, because that is going to be, that cultural aspect is in our DNA. So it will take some time to go. By that time you have to bear. And it's the best part is that both of you communicate very, very well with the parents and interact with them and share your thoughts. And I think that definitely that really works out.
Absolutely. Yeah. For those of you who ask me, like Virat, and there's some of you who are asking me individual questions, Virat, if you need help with building a CV, just write to me at guideme@univariety.com and I'm happy to help you. Twisha, sir, I don't know if you can take this question, but she wants some tips on going into film or TV, because that's her dream. Can you give me some film or tips on how I can go into film or TV, because that's her dream? Do you have any suggestions?
Yes, definitely. She can take up some courses on drama, like after 12th standard.
Yeah.
There is NSD is very very one good course, but it is for that they have to complete the graduation. So she can take BA Dramatics, or there are certain courses, diploma courses and certificate courses in drama, 3-year courses. Those courses are for at least for 3 years. If you talk of Pune, so in Pune there are very good courses like.
Yeah.
And there are 2 options. Like one can go to an institution like Whistling Woods in Mumbai, or one can start with a course in FTII in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see the people who are successful, even if you talk about Irfan Khan, I mean, so he hails from a drama background. If you talk of Nasruddin Shah, if you talk of Smita Patil, Shabana Azmi, so they could survive all 30-40 years because they were very very strong because of their drama.
Absolutely.
So definitely they can do drama first, and then they can enter into the TV and serials. I mean, TV or movies like.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. There was one student, I can't remember the name, but they wanted to know.
And she can also start participating in some, school, college events like that. Is also good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mania wanted to know, sir, how to develop leadership qualities.
Okay. Well, as 10th, I was not a very good student also, and not a leadership quality. I was a backbencher. And gradually then, once I entered into my college life, and there was a time where I got a lot of opportunities, and I started participating into that. Like, on Teachers' Day, I used to become a teacher or something like that, and I used to do that. So leadership qualities are there in everyone. Like, we have to find out that. So the basic thing is that one is participating in various programs, maybe extempore, maybe allocation, maybe a debate. That is one, and that makes you very strong as a person, more confident. And then you should be more, taking decisions, like helping out your friends in the classroom, in the school, by doing certain things, maybe taking a delegation to the principal, or sharing some information in the school or at the college level. And then that is one part. Then secondly, you hone some skills, like leadership skills are there. You should be very, very visionary, like. And again, that vision comes if you read a lot.
Yes.
The vision of independent India came to Mahatma Gandhi, Lokmanya Tilak, because they were reading a lot.
Absolutely.
And that is the reading. Reading is key to everything, I should say.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure. There was a question from Tanvi. Tanvi saying, how can I plan for DU and JNU entrance exams? I'm not able to cover up the syllabus, and as I'm not able to be consistent. Also, sir, I wanted to know, is there an option for economics and post-graduation without mathematics?
I think there is. There are for BA or for masters. Is it for masters?
Masters, yeah.
For masters, I don't think mathematics is required. If you talk about Gokhale Institution, I know one institution, Gokhale's. So they really don't require. I mean, after doing plain BA, so one can go to masters. He can do, and Gokhale is one of the best institutions. Like, even Bangalore has started separate courses at the BA level also. So those are the things. And secondly, I think one has to be consistent to get into whatever you want. Without consistency, you can't enter, you can't get whatever you're aspiring to be.
Absolutely. And that's why I want to take these two questions. Arush is asking, sir, do you recommend to follow our dream or go into the career that our parents force us to?
Yeah, there are, again, it's a very, very tricky question.
Yeah.
And there are two things, like, I really don't expect that you should really do whatever parents are saying, with due respect to the parents.
Absolutely.
But it is also not, you should not do. For example, I mean, there are two different ideologies. I will share that, then I will leave it to the parents. And the best part is that the parent and children should sit together, analyze why he should do. The parent should be able to tell him very clearly why it is important to do that. And also the child should be important, it should be equally, sane enough, or maybe wise enough to talk to the parents, saying that this is why I want to do this particular course or this particular career. Mm-hmm. Understood? Normally what happens, parents normally, they say that, okay, beta, pehle you complete your this course for us, and after that you want to become whatever you want to become.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then there is again a problem. Like, for example, if a child after class 10 wanted to pursue humanities, and a parent forces him to take sciences, so what happens if he doesn't have the interest in science, and at the 12th board examination he end up taking very, very less marks,
right?
Maybe 60% or 70%. And then if he wants to go to humanities, though he can go, but he will miss out a very good college.
Yeah.
Understood? So I think there has to be a series of discussion between the parents and the child, and there has to be a lot of support. And at the end, because many times I see that the children are brilliant enough, they foresee what is going to happen in the next 30-40 years, because we as grown-ups, we live in the past.
Yeah.
And and as these children, they always visualize the future. And when we were young, we also used to visualize the future.
Absolutely.
So you should visualize the future. Even if the parents read the books, read the newspapers, they will also understand what is going to happen the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And this is an information for the parents. 70% of the careers what you are seeing today will not be existing in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
And it is said that yesterday I was reading some article, in 2026 in the boardroom there will be robotics as helping us.
Yeah.
So that is going to be there.
It's going to be the reality. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the parents also have to understand that. Yeah.
And I always tell students, when you're trying to convince your parents about what you want to study, do it with reason. Don't just say, I just want to start. Tell them what you want to do. Tell them your long-term goals with regards to why you want to study that particular course.
Absolutely.
These two questions I'll put together. One boy wants to know how to be productive all the time, and also if you have any tips for self-study.
Yeah. First of all, productive, you are always, any individual always productive as long as he is taking that assignment as a passion. The moment you think it is a work, it is a burden. So you are no more productive, So one, it is a need for us to do this. Secondly, you enjoy. If you're not passionate about that, so you get tired immediately, you lose interest in that, and then your productivity is reduced. So that is one thing. And what was the second question, ma'am? You asked, what was the second question?
Tips for self-studies.
Yeah. Self-studies. Yeah. Again, everything is connected with the interest and the passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give an example. Like if you want to self-study is the best study, because you can study at your own pace. You understand where are the gaps, and you can fill up those gaps. So you start with the baby steps. Like for example, in class 10th, you start with the most interesting topic. You start with interesting subject, complete that. Then you go to the little difficult, and then end up with the most difficult topic or the subject. So that is how you can do that. And wherever you have a doubts, so you can just search it out on Google engine, or you can talk to your teachers about, and then make the necessary points and all. So it is always if you are studying, so it is a 3 phase. The first phase is rapid reading. One should read very rapidly. Second is then he should read paragraph wise, and then the last one is when he is reading the paragraph wise, he should underline some important words and important lines. Yeah. And that is the third revision. When you read only those important words and start making the connections. That is how you understand the whole topic. And where you are not able to explore or explain, then again go to that point, again read that entire paragraph, and that is how you will build. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I always also talk about note-taking skills. Sometimes students like to write, and they're able to retain that information also. So you really need to, someone asked about that. I think you really need to see what your learning style is, and then kind of decide on some of your own tips.
Very true. Very true.
There was one student who asked, so Shivatmika wanted to know, how can anthropology help us in our culture? Please answer this, sir, because this is my dream. So
anthropology is one of the most nowadays it is getting very, very important. It is very good subject. One can understand how human society developed, and career wise in India, I don't know how much scope is there, but definitely abroad we have a lot of studies in that. Yeah, so it's a very, very wonderful course to be taken.
Yes. I know our time is slowly running out, but sir, and some of you who's Rahul, if you can write to me about studying architecture in Germany, I can help you, because he wants to know how to apply, sir, so then I can help him.
You are the right person for that.
And then some of these more specific questions, if you can just write to me, that would be better. Aryan, sir, I'll just take a couple of more questions, okay? You want to know, so sir, after both, should I give NEET exams or do MBBS from abroad? I will be giving the exams in 2021.
2021. I think you have 1.5 years of time. So you focus upon appearing for the NEET examination, because once you do your medical course out of India, then if you're coming back to India, then again you have to undergo certain tests, to eligible to practice in India. So it is always better you complete. And I think Indian medical MBBS course is at par with any other institution. Because if you're thinking, normally you end up going to Russia, and that is at this point of time I don't advise doing from there, and absolutely not required to go America also. Indian MBBS is really, really very good.
Absolutely.
And still you have a time. I mean, normally if you do MBBS from abroad, you think of doing that when all the doors in India are closed.
Yeah, Nandita, just to respond to your question, she wants to know what should one's qualifications to work in a foreign embassy be. So I think more like international relations, political science, economics, those are things that would be good for you to do. Sir, any parting words, for students, anything, how can they make use of this lockdown time the most efficiently? Anything that you would like to talk to students and to teachers and to parents?
Yeah, please take this pandemic as an opportunity to explore, one thing. Secondly, search for your passion, hunt for your passion, and just pursue those particular things, and enjoy your daily routine. This is a wonderful experience. You can stay with your family, and I'm having a very good time with the family also, playing carom and helping in cooking. So all this stuff you can also do, and this is time where there can be a strong bonding with the family as such, one thing, and certainly a lot of opportunities you can explore. Yeah. And attend as many as program as you can on various webinars. University is a very good platform for all of us. Yeah, in fact.
Thank you, sir. And what about any tips for parents?
Yeah, normally children nowadays they speak like "Papa mat bono, mummy mat bono." So try to do that. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And any suggestions for educators how they can guide their students better?
Yeah, I would like to say, I know you as an educator, you must be undergoing a lot of stress and pressure. What would happen in next 2 months, whether the school will open or not. I was reading certain articles like now in abroad, like European countries, almost all schools have started, like they are working in routine. So this is a phase, and this will pass away. And this is time again. A lot of webinars, seminars are there every day. I know I'm flooded with a lot of messages of "Ye seminar and wo seminar." Try to do whatever seminar is there. And one thing, and secondly, what is skills you're lacking? You can hone those skills, and you can work on that, and keep learning to teach.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Besha, we did take your questions. We did, sir did tell you what you need to do in order to get into film. He did talk about getting involved in drama. He talked about Whistling Woods and certification courses, things. So we have taken your question. Watch the recorded webinar if you need to listen to the responses again. Now, some of you who are asking me questions with regards to careers specific, with regards to IAS and commerce and psychology and college list, write to me at guideme@univariety.com. Sir, you have no idea how many questions are coming through. And obviously 45 minutes is not enough. We just want to thank you so much for being here with us today, for your words of wisdom, the valuable information and guidance you've given us. If you can just give us a list of books that we can send out to students, both the fictional and non-fictional, that would be greatly appreciated. And any other tips that you think that we should put together, we would be happy to share it with our students. Yeah.
Sure. Before I say bye-bye, I would like to say one more important thing. Like, we all are gradually forgetting charity and empathy. So see that if you can bring it out in your behavior, in your attitude. This is the time where you can help your neighbors who are really need your help and support. So keep trying to do that, and certainly I will share the list with you.
Thank you.
And okay, and thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, Sangeeta ma'am and Univariety. I am really elated. I'm feeling elated, really, really. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Have a good evening, everyone. See you on Friday.
Good evening, all.
We'll have Carleton University. Thank you. Bye-bye.